Same-sex marriage has been legal in California for about a decade now, but Prop 8, a measure banning those unions that voters approved in 2008, is still technically in the state constitution. It hasn't been in effect since 2010, but people may have to vote on it again to officially repeal it. Kelsi Thorud talked to the couple who sued to overturn Prop 8 and won.
It was 10 years ago this June that Chris Perry and Sandy Steer were finally able to get married.
See how many people just filled up the city hall somehow.
So you had lots of people at our wedding, but we didn't know most of them.
You may recognize Perry's last name from the Supreme Court case Hollingsworth v. Perry. Chris and Sandy were one of two couples who sued the state of California over Proposition 8.
So many people were devastated by the passage of Prop 8 and it was shocking. It literally, I don't think even the morning we woke up after the election, we could really believe that it had happened.
Prop 8, passed by California voters in 2008, banned same-sex marriage in the state. Chris and Sandy, who by that point had been together for years and had 4 kids, knew they wanted to do something to fight it, but weren't sure at the time exactly how.
Lucky for us that there were people thinking about how to fix it while everybody else was walking around going, oh no, this is a nightmare. And we were lucky to be contacted by them to be plaintiffs in the case.
Over the next 5 years, Chris, Sandy, and their lawyers battled it out in the courts, eventually making it all the way to the Supreme Court in 2013, where they won, and soon after, officially tied the knot.
It was a beautiful day. We had the one son with us. Everybody else was off far away, living in different cities or traveling. Chris's mother was able to come. She had been shopping nearby. And the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir, fortunately, a bunch of them showed up and just serenaded us on the steps as a wonderful surprise. And it was a beautiful, if not a surprise, wedding.
Now, a decade later, Chris and Sandy are like any other couple. Their kids are grown and out of the house. They spend their weekends making tea, going to lunch, and local shows. But recently, Prop 8 has been back in the news.
The fact that this discriminatory language exists in the California Constitution, in a place like California that espouses acceptance and inclusivity, I think is something that we have to overturn.
Tony Huang with Equality California, along with several local lawmakers, are pushing for Prop 8 to be wiped from the state constitution once and for all.
In particular, advocates came together and really looked at how do we rectify this stain in the California Constitution after the Dobbs decision last year that rolled back Roe v. Wade.
Activists worry LGBTQ rights could slide backwards given the current political climate and want to make sure same-sex marriage is protected in the state moving forward. Chris and Sandy agree it's a good idea, but wish it wasn't necessary.
I want it out of the Constitution, but I don't like the idea that voters out there are looking at an issue and thinking, maybe I want to discriminate against my fellow citizens again. Maybe that's how I actually feel.
Both Chris and Sandy told me they do feel like a lot has changed for the LGBTQ community between 2008 and now. They're hopeful that if this went on the ballot, voters would choose to rescind Prop 8. And while they say they're so proud to have been a part of history in overturning the law, they'll be even more excited on the day they don't have to talk about it as much anymore.
We were just saying, if for any reason whatsoever there was another trial or another case associated with Proposition 8 for whatever reason, it would be a younger person's fight. You're like, I don't think we're the people anymore.
I was going to say it.
Yeah, we did what we could here.
No, a federal lawsuit is a young person's game.
Yeah, it takes
really is.
a lot of
energy.
It's
like parenting is for young people. It's just too hard.
Yeah.
California could follow in the footsteps of Nevada, which became the first state to ensure the right to same-sex marriage in its constitution in 2020.